it's more than basic. It's a portion of its rap at the core is ancient. It's reported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're bored of fake shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the core is a normal placement. Tattoos on my
So guys, a friend of mine named Eric on Twitter, he hit me with this one. He was like, okay, you've played, Marry, Fuck, Kill, where you play that game, guys?
Yes.
No.
It's where you say 3 celebrities. And
I have a job.
Marry one, fuck one, kill one.
Okay, go ahead.
Ben has a job. He didn't play this one. No, he's played it. So he changed it. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you 3 Toms. Mm-hmm. And you have to cast one in your movie, marry one, and fist fight one.
Okay.
And it was Tom Hardy, Tom Hanks, and Tom Cruise.
Okay.
So what were your thoughts on that? Mike, go.
Oh, I'm marrying Tom Hardy, casting Tom Hanks, and fist fighting Tom Cruise. 100% every time.
He's thinking too long on it.
Yeah, I'm probably with Mike.
Marry Tom Hanks. Look at Tom Hardy.
Marry Tom Hardy, cast Tom Hanks, fight Tom Cruise.
I marry Tom Hanks, cast Tom Hardy, and fight Tom Cruise. And I will tell you exactly why right in a moment, as soon as we get started with Tattoo with Children, which we're going to do Tattoo with Children. I am your host, Flavor Ray, and seat A across from me and seat B is the Dread Pirate Benjamin across from us both. Is the consummate master of the Marry, Fuck, Kill game, CIO No Pain. All right, so I chose to marry Tom Hanks because he's a nice guy.
Okay.
He's a nice guy, got kids. He'll help me take care of the kids.
Right.
Whereas Tom Hardy, he's so well liked by his fans, it's a guarantee he's cheating. Like, there's no way that guy is going to be faithful to me.
I know.
And so,
what you're saying is, but that's exactly the reason I went where I went.
Right. Okay. Let's hear that.
I know he's cheating, so he's going to go fuck other people, which means I don't have to fuck him.
Well, that is true.
Which is why I want to marry him and cast Tom Hanks, because Tom Hanks fans are way better than Tom Hardy fans.
But I really think that Tom Hardy is more bankable for the future than Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is getting old.
I totally disagree. I think Tom Hanks has another 20 years, and also I don't want Tom Hardy's dick up my ass.
Why you got to be the catcher to the pitcher?
I mean, you're assuming you're the bottom in that one.
Have you guys seen Tom Hardy?
It's Tom Hardy. Maybe so.
Are you guys saying Tom Hardy has ever been a bottom?
No, man. I'm not saying that any of us have been a bottom. This is a game.
You do not understand these kinds of relationships, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, you can apparently both be, Mike has experience.
You can both be tops and bring bottoms in as necessary.
Oh,
yeah, all right. I didn't know that shit at all.
This went into a very dark place very fast.
I knew involving Mike was a bad idea, but there was somebody did it anyway.
So, yeah, I would marry Tom Hardy because he would be gone.
I love the fact that all 3 of us would definitely fight Tom Cruise.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, no. I mean, you always feel bad beating up on someone smaller than you, but in this case, you don't.
I wouldn't feel bad at all.
No, you wouldn't.
I was like, he's 5 foot nothing. I'll stomp his ass.
Right.
All right, and then he hit me with the bonus round. Bonus round is add in Tom Holland, and you have to have one of them watch your kids for 48 hours.
You have to have one of them watch your kids for 48 hours.
Does that change things? It changed things for me. I was me, like, I'm going to marry Tom Holland and have Tom Hanks watch my kids. Because Tom Holland was Spider-Man, and I'm a sucker for anything Marvel.
Yeah, well, I particularly like Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It kind of took the... You know when you get that bad taste in your mouth from something you drank and you can't get it out for like 6 hours? That was Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man for me. Except it was like 16 years.
So gargling some Tom Holland is what cleared out.
Yeah, it cleared
the taste of Tobey Maguire.
Right, it cleared out the Tobey Maguire. Also, oddly enough, how do you not live down your Spider-Man role, which Tobey Maguire never did?
Because he never did anything of worth after that. He had to do something different after that.
And he didn't do it. He just fucked that all up.
Which is crazy because the first movie was really good, and then the next 2 were really bad. So you think he would want to just be like, you know what, I ain't doing that shit no more.
I got home last night and needed just some something to take my mind off of life.
Okay.
And so I was there, and I'm in the living room, and I kind of shut down the house and get ready for bed, and I'm like, I can't go to bed yet, And then I'm thinking about sex, and I'm like, this is not good. This is not going to work.
Right.
What can help get my mind off of this? So I immediately turn on Amazon Prime.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed that I go to Netflix and Hulu for specific things.
And Amazon Prime to browse.
And I go to Amazon Prime to browse.
I do that as well.
And, of course, I don't have any money. So I'm going to go with what's already there.
Right.
And one of the things that's already there is Rambo. The new one.
Yes, the new Rambo is there.
And I got to say, it was good.
Yeah, Ben, I knew you were going to say that.
I enjoyed it.
I have not been around you one day where you looked at a film and said, you know what, this one doesn't work. You are very kind to films.
Well, I didn't call it a film, first of all. It was a movie.
It was
not a film.
Okay.
And you and I have had this discussion before.
We have.
You cannot call that a film.
Okay.
It
wasn't art.
It's a movie. No, it was not art.
Okay.
No, they literally had to save humanity by filling 2 hours of television space. And they did it successfully. They drove up and down a river in a boat, fired a bunch of machine guns, killed a bunch of the infidels.
Right.
And saved some white people from their own trouble.
Was it terrorists, like jihadists?
No. When I say infidel, I just mean the other.
Okay, the other.
Yeah, no, it wasn't terrorist. It was some dumbass missionaries. You remember that dude that played on The Sopranos? He was the Catholic, the weird Catholic priest.
Yeah,
in The Sopranos.
Yeah, that was coming on
creepy.
To he was like getting food head from all the wives.
Yeah. He's the American missionary in this film.
Okay.
Who is insistent on going deep into Vietnam or Thailand to preach Jesus.
Yeah.
To the Taiwanese,
Yeah.
And his wife, she's a famous actress. I don't like her. She comes across as a bit of a
I thought
snob.
the new one. Wait, are we talking about the new Rambo or the old Rambo? Because that sounds like Rambo 3.
It's just Rambo. I don't know.
It's just Rambo?
Yeah, it's just Rambo. Like
dude,
R-A-M-B-O. It's not the newest one.
It's not the newest one.
No, it's
okay,
not the newest one. No,
okay.
It's not the newest one. I had to pay for that.
I love that fucking movie. The one where it's the missionaries and like Rambo comes up to him and says, "Hey man, don't go upriver."
Yeah, and then they go upriver.
They're going to rape and kill all your women.
Right, yeah.
And then he's like, no, that's not going to happen.
Right.
He's like, no, it's fucking going to happen.
Right, and he's like, God's protecting us. And he's like, God isn't fucking protecting you.
Yeah.
Like that. And
it's a great scene.
It's a great movie.
Because Sylvester Stallone doesn't want to say a lot of lines in any of his movies, quite frankly.
Well, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
And that's what makes it a movie, is you got this guy that can only do one thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, he can just
shooting.
Look good like walking around. It's like, hey, is that your serious face or your sex face they're all the same. Okay, I got you.
He looks like all the time like he is either just on the verge of coming,
right,
or just came.
Right, yeah. No, that is Sylvester Stallone to a T.
That's like the perfect Sylvester Stallone acting class.
Yeah.
Make your old face.
Right, yeah. Oh God, that reminds me. Okay, I gotta read you this joke. I am loving. Well, it's not like a joke, but I am loving Kate Q Funny. She's been on Donnell's podcast a bunch, and
she's so great. Man.
I'm following her shit like religiously.
Yeah,
dude, she fucking killed me today. Okay, so she put on Twitter, porn acting class. I want you to do the scene again, but Dirk, this time when you ask her, really mean it. Who is her daddy? Did she know him? Was he a role model?
Give it some context this time.
Like, I fucking died, man.
Give it some depth.
Did he provide a stable home environment?
That reminds me of that Family Guy episode where Brian goes to Hollywood and he starts directing porn.
Right.
He's like, this script is good. He's like, yeah. It's like bang the drum slowly, but this time the drum's a chick.
Kate Q Funny is killing me, dude.
She is great.
And this morning, the first post she had was like her coming in the front door, and it's just her like pissed off Monday face.
Yeah.
And she's like, he said it was a business meeting. I can't believe he took his dick out. I was like, this girl is she's gonna be in charge of Comedy Central, you know?
Dude, there's a bunch of female comedians. Speaking of, you know what? Since we're talking about, we're intersecting Netflix and strong females right now, because I was also looking for something to take my mind off the world last night.
Yeah.
And I picked up a series that people have been telling me to watch.
Okay.
That I've been resisting because I've been thinking that I would hate it, and I didn't want to hate it.
Okay.
The Witcher on Netflix. Okay.
Dude.
That is probably the greatest show that is a mess that I've ever seen.
It's like Hercules if they did it right.
Yes.
Xena Warrior Princess if it was done correctly.
I mean, the Witcher universe I'm very familiar with. I played the 2 games on consoles.
I am not familiar with it at all.
I know Ben hasn't seen anything about it. Like, The Witcher is a Polish novel series by this guy. His last name is Sapkowski. I've read his first name is like Andrew or some shit like that.
Okay.
It's Polish.
Yeah.
But it's a famous Polish thing in Poland, and no one else knew anything about it. And then a Polish game company made a game for the PC about it. Okay. And the game was pretty good. So then they made a second game for consoles, and it was a little bit better. And then the third game is called The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Is widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best, video game of all time.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with the 2 video games that came out on consoles, and literally I live in that universe of The Witcher 3. Like, it is one of the things that consumes me if I go into it. So I didn't want to get involved with this series and start to hate something that I love. Okay, so I was resisting it. Dude, I gave in last night, and it is so fucking good. The storytelling itself is disjointed, messy. Mm-hmm. You know, the plot is messy. Putting it together takes time. Mm-hmm. But it is, the plot is good and it's worth the effort. Yeah. And B, I am so absorbed by the women in this series. Yeah. They have at least 4 of the greatest female characters who have ever been on film in any real fiction. Yeah. I mean, the women here, you know how Xena Warrior Princess is like, oh, she is a general and she looks hot in her little female armor. Mm-hmm. And her fighting moves are all stilted and slow and shit. Well, in The Witcher, the first time you see a woman pull out a sword, she's in full armor like everybody else. She looks like everybody else. Mm-hmm. She pulls out her sword and just starts killing motherfuckers like everybody else. Like, there's no difference. Yeah. I mean, that is something that has not happened. Like, Game of Thrones was fucked in this area. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Game of Thrones really treated women kind of like shit the entire time. Yeah. Whereas The Witcher doesn't do that. Even though The Witcher still has things like sexual assaults and shit like that, it's handled completely differently. Right. You know, it's like there's very little of the victim blaming. Right. And there's very little of the wallowing that you get with usually get in women in fiction. They're just strong. Yeah. They're strong like dudes are supposed to be strong in fiction. That was so refreshing to me that I'm obsessed with it now. Yeah. Like, this is the only kind of show I want to watch now. I only want to watch people who are going to give me well-rounded, strong female characters who make sense. Right. Like, sometimes they do bad. Right. They do bad shit even though they're good people. Right. And sometimes they pay for that. And sometimes they don't. Like, I got to tell you, it's the thing that I've been looking for a long time. Somebody just paying attention to the world at large, and changing the way they tell stories to fit it. Right. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
It does have some nudity.
A little bit.
Yeah, just here and there. Yeah. And it's
the games do too, by the way.
It hasn't gotten hokey yet. which
Right.
I appreciate.
Right.
You know, it hasn't gotten like, well, we didn't really have time to finish this monster, so fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, it's still keeping that like this is a really good tale. You know,
And I can tell that they're like limiting their cost a little bit. Like you get like one monster every couple of episodes.
yeah.
Rather than like, a monster of each episode.
Right.
That would cost just a bunch to make animate or whatever.
Right. But it's also the reason I think Hercules felt hokey.
Yeah.
It's like every single fucking episode there's a goddamn monster and
Right.
there's no fucking reason for that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the characters are interesting enough, you don't have to distract away from them.
Yeah.
And the characters are interesting enough.
They're extremely interesting.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it personally. I mean,
I found out that that song, that Tuscarora Witcher, that went viral.
really,
Yeah.
that's dope. I
Like
love
people
that.
like playing that shit at their birthday parties and shit.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's dope.
As I think this is going to be a successful show. I think Henry Cavill has found his role of a lifetime.
That's the actual Witcher.
Yeah.
The old Superman.
Yeah. Henry Cavill the Witcher's name is Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
And you'll probably hear me talking about Geralt of Rivia from every so often from now on, and
Okay.
also Yennefer,
Yeah.
who is already one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
And this lady playing Yennefer, I don't know who she is, but she is great.
She's fucking dope.
Wow.
It like I get really excited when I see different types of human beings portrayed the way they are, not excessively to the left or the right. So
Yeah.
one of the things I hated about television in the late 80s, early 90s was they had that show, I think it was My So-Called Life,
Yeah.
which was a good
That was a
show.
show.
Yeah, it was a good show. As far as television in the 90s goes.
Right, which was honestly television 90s if you look back at it, was not that great.
No, it wasn't. But one of the things they did that drove me absolutely insane was the main character, I think, was a redhead, female, and her little brother was slow. What is the correct term for that now?
He had
he had a disease.
He had Down syndrome or
yeah, I don't.
He had some sort of disability.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. He had a disability.
yeah.
But they went out of their way to make that seem unusual.
Corky was his name. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? Corky.
They went out of their way to make him seem stupider than he was.
Yeah, because
if
the
you-
actual actor wasn't dumb at all. Like he had the disease or the condition or whatever. But he was actually not mentally impaired much by
Right.
his condition. He was actually of normal intelligence.
Well, and then but that's the thing is, what is normal? Because I have known quite a few people with disabilities, and in I would say 70% of the cases, they're probably smarter than I am. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, they are. They can
Yeah.
interact with people better. They can dialogue with people better. They're not as passive aggressive as I am.
Right.
They're not as insecure as I am.
Right.
And so, and so this Yennefer character.
Yeah,
right?
she starts out as a hunchback.
She starts out as a hunchback with like a cleft palate and a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
And but they made it seem like they just showed
was
how
a person.
Yes.
She was a person immediately.
And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, she's kind of hot, but I thought she was kind of hot before she did the thing.
Dude, she was hot as a hunchback.
Right.
Which is and it wasn't as if they were like, oh, she's pretty except for the hunchback. No.
Right.
It was just everything about it. Like, that's why this actress is so fucking crazy good.
Yeah.
How
And
could she bring out the sex appeal of this
a different type
deformed character?
Right. Yes.
I mean, but she brought it out through visual medium. Like, that is hard to do.
And I thought it was just it's like it speaks to where we're at in television that they didn't make Yennefer stupid. They didn't make her retarded. They didn't make her they didn't overplay her disability.
Right.
And I appreciate that because some people who struggle with disabilities they have to have home health care, or they have to have people take care of them.
Right.
But a lot of people with disabilities are just people.
Yeah.
They just have this one thing. They have this nervous tick, or they have this other thing, or they do this, or they do that, or their right shoulder is 3 inches lower than their left shoulder. And it's a problem for them, but the bigger problem is that we as a society treat them differently.
Try to treat them differently.
And there's no fucking reason for that.
And she's not treated differently, by the way. Like, nobody takes any special care of this woman whatsoever.
Yeah.
With her disability anytime in the entire series. And as a result, like, she has trauma involved with this. Like, she has a lot of issues, and they don't downplay those either. Like, they're not empowering her unnaturally.
Right.
You know, like, she is very, very flawed.
She is, but she's also, I think one of the things I liked about it is the character, not knowing the character, it reminded me of Raceland.
Yeah.
Where she has this intuitive tie to the magic.
Yes.
But she doesn't know how to access it.
Yeah, there's magic in the series.
And with Raceland, the character from Dragonlance, he also feels it at the most when he's angry, but when he's younger, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which is what Yennefer experiences.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I also like very much, and not knowing the series, I like Yennefer's her immediate superior.
Yeah, Tissia.
Yeah, her immediate superior was an excellent cast and is doing the show an immense good.
She's pretty incredible. Like, there's this group called the Brotherhood of Sorcerers in this, and she is, I think, the only female in the Brotherhood, and she can balance out the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how strong of a person she is. You know, so like the person who gets her started on the whole magic journey is from her very first time on screen. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This lady has it going on.
Yeah, and you don't like her, but you want to.
You don't like her, but you definitely don't hate her, and you certainly respect her.
Yes, and you definitely feel like there's a lot more untold, like they could do a show on her.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, guys, in other words, go watch the fucking Witcher. Do yourself a favor, because like I honestly waited too long. It's a fucking great show. This could be helping me the entire time. You know, I could have started the year off even better than I did.
Yeah, it started off pretty good, but yeah, there's definitely some TV that's helping it. Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and we'll get into some maybe some more fiction. See what's going on.
My name ain't Mikey, but yeah, I rock. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't.
All right, you're back with Tattoo with Children. We're talking about the show The Witcher, but what enthralled me, and Ben felt it too, was the strength of the female characters, and it's because it's so refreshing, and it's refreshing because it doesn't happen all that often that you have female characters that are portrayed as strong, and they're actually heroes. You know, heroic female characters. I think that's largely due to how we view women in society a lot of the time. Like, to just give you a juxtaposition, the creator of this universe, the Witcher universe, this Sapkowski guy. See, that's weird. He has created a very, very popular fictional universe, and nobody knows who he is. Like, literally no one in the world outside of Poland. But he did create this universe, and his view on feminism is, I'm not a feminist. I like women, but I don't espouse to a philosophy. And so they asked him, like, say, well, what about your strong female characters? How do you do that if you're not a feminist? He's like, I just look at the world.
Yeah.
And in this world, women are and will always be stronger than men.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
And I agree with him 100%.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to have conversations about this because I've recently even in the last 3 weeks, I've recognized that I quiet my voice on this because I've taken so much shit for it for so long that I naturally bow out of conversations. Right? Because I'm 40 and I'm tired of explaining my position again.
Yeah.
Now, that's not a good thing. That's not a helpful thing.
Yeah.
But when I think of, I mean, usually throughout
we're
a year,
gonna have to get into this.
Really, throughout a year, I will think of, especially when I'm stuck, I will try to think of who do I admire, who do I want to be like when I grow up. 80% of the time, it's women.
Yeah.
80% of the time, when I think of who is a strong lead character that I want to be like, it's a woman.
Okay, give me an example.
So, if I said to you, I want to be like a tattoo artist, right? Like I'm struggling with my art right now. I want to achieve or accomplish something that another human being has. Who can I set as my role model? Grace Neutral.
I understand that totally.
Like, and I spend like the next 20 minutes like, okay, yeah, but I'm a dude, so I should think of a man. I just don't. In other words, is she okay? Ben, think of another one. Name another one. Okay. Sarah Strongarms.
Okay.
Both incredible female artists, both from Europe, both who have defined their own specific art style. And who have...
And their own specific way of making that art style.
And have succeeded so much better. Whereas when I think of men or male tattoo artists, I think of guys who copied another style and they're still copying it 15 years later. And I don't really want to be like that when I grow up.
And they kind of hate themselves for it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing about tattoo artists. They know they're derivative and they hate it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I yell about Gary Vee so much is because he's one of the few businessmen that I actually respect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, like if you go back, it's like smaller, not smaller in the sense of not as large. It's smaller in the sense of the women I admire in business run smaller companies.
Yeah.
They run companies. But, dude, you've known this about me forever. I fucking love Oprah.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So for me, growing up, I really wanted to be Oprah.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be like an actor like Oprah. Mm-hmm. You know, that like every role you put me in, you're like, that's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to have a talk show like Oprah where people would come to me for advice.
Right.
You know, I wanted to be that person who I recommended a book.
Yeah.
And a person like, I've got to read that book because Ray said that book is good. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Like that's like if you talk to me for long, you like if you really look at me, like he kind of sounds like Oprah. You know, like I've been trying to do that for quite some time.
Well, but I think where we grew up, especially in the South, people are like, okay, but who's your male role model?
Like,
This is my human role model.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. I don't think of it like that. And also, I'm getting really tired of the implication that those women are my role models, those females are my role models, because I want to fuck them.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't really hear from anybody until we started following Grace Neutral.
Yeah.
And it's like, Grace Neutral is a sex symbol.
Right.
It's like, okay, if you like to have sex with that.
She's not. She just is. That's like saying Oprah is a sex symbol.
Exactly.
Oprah. Now, am I saying that I couldn't develop a relationship with Oprah, or I couldn't develop a relationship with Grace Neutral? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, because I was born with a penis does not mean that I am only admiring another person because I want to fuck them.
Yeah, it just like I I can actually deal with women without sex entering into it in any sense.
Now, it is true that there may be not a lot of men who say that, or not a lot of men who do that.
Or not a lot of men who are able to do that, in the sense that if they're around a woman for long enough, a sexual component will enter into it automatically.
And again, that is a weak part of, in my humble opinion, a weak part of the male psyche.
Yeah, I think it's a defect in the Y chromosome itself.
But because if let's say you and I we were going to fly to Europe, so we got a private plane.
Sure.
We crashed on an island.
Yeah.
No one rescues us. No one knows where we are. No one even knows about this island. Right? And we're there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Dude, a sexual component will enter into our relationship whether you fucking like it or not. It'll happen.
Yeah. It's just 20 years is too long.
Yeah. At some point, we'll be like, so what are we going to do about this thing? Like, Ben, I don't think about you that way. Well, I certainly don't think about you that way, motherfucker. But
we don't have a whole lot of options.
We're stuck on this goddamn island.
Yeah.
Like, what do we,
like, quite frankly, our clothes are right off. We've been naked for 6 months.
Right. And I'm tired of fucking palm trees. So like,
something's got to happen.
Yeah, that's the Y chromosome exhibiting in its worst form.
Its worst trait.
Yes,
is that like that is absolutely true.
But I admire Grace Neutral because of who she is, because of what she's accomplished. Because I want to accomplish what she accomplished.
Guys, go ahead and look up Grace Neutral. Just look up a couple of photos to understand what we're talking about here, because you don't know what I'm talking about if you've never seen her.
Yeah, she's a little alien. She's a little foreign. She's had some.
She's had some very interesting modifications to her physical form.
Yeah, and a lot of it because of the skin tone she has. You can't see them unless you're looking. So a lot of people will overlook the scarification on her face because she's very beautiful. And they'll miss that she has designs in her face.
Yeah, she's got implants in her face. She's got devil horns and some more shit.
Yeah, she's got her eyes are tattooed purple. Her ears are docked.
She's removed her belly button. Like a whole bunch of shit.
A whole bunch of shit. But she's an incredible person to look up to, in my opinion, in the same vein as someone like Oprah, who decided what they wanted to do. They went after it. They accomplished it. And they accomplished it by their own rules. Like, that is the most human thing.
Like, one of my main, like, I always married philosophers, and the only modern philosopher that I really like I've talked about, like, the crazy guys that do things that I try to do marginally, the Eckhart Tolles and things like that, where he's got a philosophy that's based on metaphysics more than anything else, and that kind of appeals to me, but I can't really apply it, I'm not that advanced. The person whose philosophy I actually put into my actual daily life is Brené Brown.
Yeah.
And she's a researcher.
That's another great example.
She wouldn't call herself a philosopher. She would call herself a researcher, and she's right. She is a constant researcher, and everything she says is based on data, but she's using data to create a philosophy of living. And she has created, I think, the only mode of life that is viable in the future.
Yeah, I agree.
And she is definitely one of those people that when I meet her, I'm going to be starstruck. I won't be able to talk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And she's from Texas or lives in Texas, and I've several times been like, I should go meet Brené Brown, and then I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. That's like meeting I don't know, a superstar. I don't know if I can.
That would be I'm trying to think of who that would be like. It would be like me and Oprah.
Yeah.
Like if I met Oprah, it'd be the same way. It's like I can't shake hands with Oprah. She's
right.
I don't have any gold on me to give her as a gift.
Right. Yeah. I wasn't ready. But I think that's such a big thing is that there are not only men and women, there are children who admire people, but then they're told, no, I have to look up
that person.
I have to look up to Steve Jobs. And for all the great things Steve Jobs did, one of the reasons I didn't research it more is he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's a horrible person.
Yeah.
When he was alive.
Yeah.
To a lot of people.
Right.
Not to everyone. To a lot of people, he was great. but to a lot of people, he was really a dick. And so I knew that I didn't want to run a company the way Steve Jobs ran a company.
Yeah, no,
even though Apple's successful.
But that's not how I determine success.
Right.
You know, I would look at it and go, that's nice, but I want to be like Brene Brown when I grow up.
Right.
That's nice, but I want to be like this person over here when I grow up. And again, it's not that there are not men in those roles. There are, but I don't know why we have to, which is your male role model and which is your female role model? No.
I'll tell you, one of my heroes today is Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, they just put a movie out about her, and it's fucking incredible.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been holding this union together for decades now.
Right.
I mean, Jesus. I don't know how much longer she can last, but she's cancer free now, so I feel a little bit better about this year.
Yeah, I mean, and she just the thing about it is it wasn't like, well, for a woman she did good. No, for a human she did good.
Yeah, she did exceptional, and is still doing it. Like, man, like the women of this world have really been the backbone of humanity.
Yeah.
While men have been like pushed out into the front.
Yeah.
And, lionized, then murdered, and then lionized, and then, vilified, and lionized and glorified.
Well, like an example I would give you I follow this account of this artist from New York. I don't know where she's from originally. It may be New York, but her name is Amber Vittoria.
Okay.
And I only found out about her because I follow Gary Vee. Gary Vee did stuff with K-Swiss, so I started following people with K-Swiss. Mm-hmm. And an Amber Vittoria shoe came out, and it was fucking dope as shit. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go see what this is about.
All right.
And she does all this art that's just, in my opinion, I would hang it in my home if I could afford it. Like, it's incredible artwork.
I think I started following her, too, if I remember.
And I didn't realize then that she does all the art with her non-dominant hand. And they're all most of them are self-portraits.
Okay.
So when she has her period, she will do a portrait of herself with her non-dominant hand. Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to draw or write with your non-dominant hand.
Or brush your fucking teeth with your non-dominant hand.
It doesn't work.
Nothing works.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know what this is. Well, she does this incredible art. But one of the interesting things about it is that I started repping her, meaning I give her shout-outs when she puts out a new piece or I promote her page because she's an inspiration to me as an artist. And I get this sense that whenever I do that she's a little hesitant, like, is the dick pic going to come next?
Right, yeah. What is he actually doing here?
And every single time she sends me this message back that is grateful but cautious.
Yeah.
And every single time I say, you are an incredible artist. You inspire me. Thank you, period.
I run into this a lot on social media. For example, there's this comedian that I follow. She's Jewish. She on social media she's known as Miss Jew Booty.
Okay.
And because she does these crazy videos, but she's a stand-up comic, and she's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, she is hilarious to me. She hasn't been doing it that long, and so that makes it more impressive to me. Mm-hmm. And so whenever she puts out a funny video, I'm like, hey, man, that is hilarious. Keep doing you. Mm-hmm. And the response is always something like, hey, that's okay. I'm glad you like it. And then I get the feeling that she's thinking about blocking me. You know what I mean? Is like, we're not going to interact too much, though. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to.
And I think that's funny. It's funny, but it's also sad because it's like, guys, what are you doing out here? Like, when I support, so let it be stated for the record, I do not want anything in return from anyone I ever shout out. I do not want anything in return from anyone that I ever rep.
Right.
I don't rep Empathy Wines because they give a fuck about me. I rep Empathy Wines because I think it's a dope concept and a dope wine.
Yeah.
I rep Amber Vittoria because I think she's a fucking incredible artist, and I want more people to know about incredible artists.
Right.
I want nothing. I would actually be a little disturbed if she like, oh, I want to thank Black Crow. No, you don't. You don't know this weird fucker from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Right.
and also my art is not good enough yet. Now, I am working on it, but one of the ways I work on self-confidence is I follow people who are self-confident.
Right.
And I try to put what they're saying, the artwork they're doing, the podcasts they're doing, the music they're making, the books they're writing. Amy Landino, another one. Like, she is the epitome of what I would consider what the 90s would have called Legally Blonde.
Right.
Until I started listening to what she had to say, and I was like, holy shit. So this Legally Blonde thing is kind of a routine that she runs so that people watch her. But if you see her in a different setting, she's actually very different. And it's incredible the work she's doing. She's written 2 books. She's inspiring a shit ton of people. Gary Vee is her mentor. There's the
Gary
connection
Vee
again.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm amazed. I'm blown away. Like, you and I, think about it. You and I listened to 1 episode of Going Dutch.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, I guess we can't have a podcast anymore.
I nearly quit.
Yeah.
I talked to Ben about it. I said I almost decided
yeah, I had
to
to talk
stop
you off
doing-
a fucking ledge because you...
they were so much better than me.
Well, and I listened to episode 8 last night. Dude, I laughed so hard I cried.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Dave Chappelle hasn't made me cry as hard as Marky and Beck are.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was literally, I pulled over the side of the road and laughed until I could clear my eyes.
Right.
Because some of the shit they say is fucking hilarious.
And I think to a certain extent, like, there's this idea that women can't be funny. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Women are
Like,
hysterical.
But it's so goddamn pervasive.
And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean in a comedic timing way.
Yes, women comedians are hilarious. Like the comedian I was talking about, his name is Ahava, and like she used to expose much of her personal life, where she would tell you, like, you know, when she was struggling on a bad day or whatever, and she had to stop because people were being so mean about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? Why are you people? Why are you people A, having an opinion about something that doesn't involve you, and B, being cruel to a person who's trying to make you laugh?
Right.
Like, even if you don't laugh, like, who tells you to I'm not laughing?
Right.
You know, hashtag straight face. I want to punch a motherfucker every time I see that.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't make any good sense. And it's we came up on the situation, Mike, this morning. Get your take on it. A client that you're aware of that we've worked with together. Their husband is influencing all of their business decisions.
Ooh.
In a negative way.
Ooh.
And the fairness is that the influencer does not have the day-to-day
Right.
experience, does not experience the day-to-day ins and outs.
So the wife
But he has opinions about it,
So
though.
the female is there, we're putting in 16 hours a day,
Right.
crushing the game,
Right.
building this company, and the dude in the relationship is like, I don't think you should do that. Well,
Yeah.
first, like, dude, I never did that with my wife. My wife is almost, by the way, since 1998, let's just be clear real quick. Sarah has always earned more money than me.
Right.
100% of the time. She has always earned more money than me.
Same.
Do you know how that makes me feel?
I do know, because my wife has always earned more money than me.
It makes me feel fantastic.
Yes, it does.
Like,
It's a great feeling.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And so when Sarah comes to me and says, "Hey, how should I spend this money?" My answer, I have a feeling, is the same as yours. However the fuck you want. It's your money. Like how could I have an input on it? Like, I mean, I can have an opinion. Like,
I mean, we have like we have a budget
Sure.
And like my wife is the first to tell you that she's no good at budgeting.
Okay.
And so we've been married for 18 years. So for a long time, it was just I had a checking account, she had a checking account, and we just ran with it that way. But in the last few years, we combined the checking accounts, and she wanted me to pretty much handle the budgets to make sure that we never ran out of money. Or if we did run out of money, we got more money immediately, because I'm really good at that. So our finances are combined currently, but it's never a situation where I'm like, oh, you know what? You can't buy that thing that you want. You know, I'm like, if you want to buy the thing that you want, go ahead, buy it, and then I will adjust accordingly. You know, that's how we work it. I don't know if that will work for everyone, but I never want to be like, you know, oh, here, you take your $60,000 a year, I'll take my piddly $30,000, you know, and make all the decisions. I definitely don't want that. Where like, you know, you can't have that new thing that you want because you didn't earn enough money. No, I didn't earn enough money.
Right.
Buy it and then I'll figure it out.
But I don't. But that's the thing. I don't understand the insecurity that comes from men when women do it better. Have you?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if this all stems. We said we were going there, so let's go there.
I'm ready to go there.
Does it come from the fact that men hate women? Because I can't figure out where the insecurity comes from if it doesn't start there.
Well, let me tell you this. My wife, at least at the beginning, was very upset that she earned more money than me. She wanted me to earn more money than her.
Okay.
Like, she's not a housewife, never has been, never could be.
Okay.
She was always going to be a worker, which is the reason that I married her.
Okay.
But she wanted me to earn more money than she did and run the house that way because that's the way that her house ran.
Okay.
And I was very much against that. My mother has always earned more money than my father.
Okay.
And but his opinions were always taken as, you know, the husband's opinions.
Right, the man of the house.
Yeah, the man of the house opinions. And I was like, it can be that way if that's how you want it to be, or you can tell me to go fuck off. I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
You know, like I can go either way. But I was never bothered by earning less money than she was, and she was bothered by earning more money than me. For a while, she's gotten good with the right, in the more recent years,
right?
Because she is outstripping me by such a huge margin.
Yeah, I was going to say she's a doctor of education.
She's a doctor. She has a doctorate,
and you have a podcast.
And I am talking to you people. You know, this is my job.
When he says
to you,
by the way, when he says you people, he means me and Mike.
Yes.
What do you mean, you people?
I mean exactly what you think I mean when I say you people.
The motherfucker from New Jersey doesn't know what you mean when you say you people.
I'm talking to asshole 1 and asshole 2 and calling it a career. Okay, that's my life. But her life is shaping the minds of America, the black minds of America even, and getting paid tremendous amounts of money for it.
Well, and you and I, we know this because 8 years ago we were talking about it, and we were like, dude, Martha should be like a provost at a college or like the dean of, what the fuck ever. I don't know how academia works.
Any of the high leadership positions in a college,
like
what she should be.
Who runs colleges? That's what Martha should do.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that was the thing, is like, but again, I go back to, is that insecurity based in hatred? Or is it just insecurity?
I don't
control?
know. Well, maybe
does
that's
control come before hatred?
I have a hard time saying that men chose that. That's what I mean. Like, I don't think that men chose to be like, okay, because I make more money, that means you lesser. I don't think that men chose that.
I think some men did.
I have a real problem with the
that.
word hatred in that sense. Not that I have a problem with the word itself, right?
Okay.
I just have a problem with the level of evidence I think required. It's one of those things. An extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
What's the evidence for hatred? As I'm trying to understand is, I wouldn't want to attribute hatred in this.
I would say the extraordinary. I would say I get where you're coming from, and I want you to have time to speak.
Yeah.
I would say the evidence is male insecurity.
Okay.
In other words,
Yeah.
I don't hear this from one marriage. I hear it from 9 out of 10. I hear it from 18 out of 20. I hear it from 92 out of 100 that the men don't want their wives or their girlfriends or their partners to make as much money as them, and they feel a loss of control when that happens. I don't think how much Sarah makes has anything to do with my control. And I think Sarah should spend her money exactly how the fuck she wants to.
I think the kids today are evolving past this, by the way, because I'm seeing a lot of love for hustlers that I didn't see before.
Okay.
Like women out there chasing the bag, getting the bag. But the talk I'm hearing now about relationships is, hey, find you a person that is going to help your business grow.
Yeah.
It's like if that person ain't gonna help you make money, then you probably ought to keep looking.
Right.
And that's not something that existed before these kids came out and started making it exist.
I mean, I think that's true. I think there's an equality there, like we were talking about in the TV show. There's an equality there that exists now. That is. But I also think that it exists now because of the inequality. Because even since you and I have been
it's
working...
definitely a snap back from what we grew up with.
Yeah, 95, 96 was the first time actually I went to work in 94, but I was very young. I was far too young.
You were way too young.
Yeah, I was like a chimney sweep. But to be fair, I was like the oldest of 8.
Like a chimney. Says send Ben up there, shimmy up that son of a bitch, and bring down some dust.
Did you all know that I was a chimney sweep? I don't think I covered that.
You've never revealed that.
So
that you were a chimney sweep.
In 93, 94, there was a house on...
He hasn't lived in England. How on earth could he be a chimney sweep? That's not a job in America.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there was a house. What is that road that goes from the post office to down?
Old Union?
No, the inside of Old Union.
Oh, the inside of Old Union?
Pershing? Is that it?
Pershing?
So there was
that's going down inside Loop. Pershing?
Yeah. So we had there was a home church group that I was a part of, which means that instead of going to church in a building, we went to a church in a house because they thought that would alleviate the human problem. Don't question me on the logic here because I don't think it works. So we went to church in this house off of Pershing. And the guy that lived in the house that was a part of the church, he ran a chimney sweep business. It was called Pop and Son Chimney Sweep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I actually got baptized in his backyard because as a good Southern Baptist...
Please tell me at some point you at least watched Dick Van Dyke sing Chim Chimney, Chim Chimney, Chim Chim Cheree.
Of course I did. But
Thank you.
That's not...
Thank you. That's the only thing that mattered to me in this whole story.
So I got baptized in his backyard, and that also meant I now worked for his chimney sweep company.
That's how he got recruits.
Yeah.
He got his people to work his chimney the same way Jesus got Christians.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a perfect thing.
He's like, hey, let me dip this water. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. So
you work for me now. Now you're mine.
Right. He had been a tugboat captain, but that's a whole nother story. What is so confusing?
He's got like 3 jobs that don't exist in Lufkin.
He was a tugboat captain.
Okay.
He went to
chimney sweeps.
Chimney sweeping
from tugboating.
Yeah,
and then ended up in Lufkin. He's like, we're going to sweep chimneys in Lufkin.
Yeah, by the way, that business did not go well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
there's 6 chimneys in the entirety of Lufkin,
and they're never used. They're not used.
No, they're not used because we live in hell. But
exactly,
it's fine.
It's a good town. It's just the temperature of hell.
Right. So anyway, how did I get on the chimney sweep thing?
Because you were talking about your first jobs, and you revealed that somehow you went back in time and donned a Cockney accent and started climbing up chimneys for some
I
weird
did not-
guy
I did
with
not-
a baptismal font in his backyard. This is some weird shit, Ben. Jesus Christ.
He just had a swimming pool.
Oh, God.
Look, when you're a hard-up Christian and you need Jesus, any water will do. Okay?
So here, we got a rain polo here. Dip your fingers in it.
So anyway, yeah, we would baptize all the kids.
There's where the Jesus is right there.
In the pool. And
Next to the tadpoles.
And
Fuck
so
me.
and so the point was in 95, 94, in that era,
Yeah.
men made more than women.
Sure.
But here's the problem I'm running into.
But
it's 20 and men are making more than women.
But that's not because men work harder than women or any of that shit.
No, it's control.
But I think that's also changing because there's so much money now.
Right.
You can't keep women from getting it.
I agree with that, but I don't think that's men's choice. I think that's women going, I am not going to include a man in this avenue of my life because men are fucking pieces of shit.
I would say that's true, but I don't think it started out that way. In other words, I don't know of a dude that would grow up in the way that I grew up with his mother working every day, that would then be like, you know what, I gotta make more than my wife. Like I grew when I started looking for a chick
so maybe this
to share my life with, I'm looking for hustlers.
Okay, but maybe this is a poor thing then. Poor people respect women, rich people don't.
Okay. Okay. That's an idea that we're going to explore very deeply at another episode because we got to end this one, unfortunately. We're just getting good, just getting hot, but we're going to come back to this one because we're just getting to where I want to get to in the podcast in general. The podcast is Tattoo with Children, which is what you're listening to, Tattoo with Children. You can find Tattoo with Children on Facebook at Tattoo with Children. You can find us on IG at Tattoo with Children. You can find us on Twitter at Tattooed With. You can find me on Twitter at Hunter Vanguard. That's one word, Hunter Vanguard. You can find me on IG at Madara Shadow. You can find Ben on IG at Black Crow Brother and also at Black Spot Tattoo Company. And you can find CIO No Pain at CIO Pain on IG and at Pain.Points. That's Pain spelled Payne. And for all you hustlers out there, female and male alike, you want something to do with all that money, all that internet cash you got just raking in, go ahead, hit up patreon.com, search for Tattoo with Children, and drop Flavor Ray $5. $5 gets you bonus content.
DM me if Ray has put up any of that bonus content in 2020.
That no one else can get it. Like, dude, you want to call me on my bonus content? You got to pay $5 to see if it's there or not.
Oh, so I can't see my
Wow.
own. I can't see my own bonus content because I haven't paid you.
Blank and period. You want to see what's on the Patreon? You got to pay at least $5 to see any of it.
I fucking made it. I should be
And
able
to be able
see
to
it.
see Ben shit, you got to pay $25. You want to get a print of it. If you like Ben's art, I know you do. You like Ben's art, I'll cost you $50 to get a print of it. I will print that shit out myself and send it to you.
The Oprah's coming out.
No, the Oprah would get that shit for free because she's rich. I am wanting money. I know, but I don't want it just to enrich myself, guys. I want to give you better. Podcasting content.
Okay, can we come back and talk about the podcast party we're going to have in the next episode, or at least in a short segment we can
definitely in the next recording talk about we're having a podcast party. We're going to talk about what that is, what it means, and who is invited on the next Tattoo with Children. I don't want to get into it today because we're still ironing out the details, but we're going to talk about the podcast party in episode 56. This is episode 55. And it is the end of episode 55. Remember that I want you to take care of yourself before you take care of others. There's a storm out today, so by the time you hear this, it will be long over. I hope everybody made it out. I hope we all survived the storm that's coming in this Friday. Apparently, it's apocalyptic. Yeah, I love you.
All right, see you guys.
But it's more than basic. It's a portion of its rap, but the core is ancient. It's supported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're bored of fake shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the core is